Welcome back to Algebra 2, Chapter 7, Section 1 in this book. And what we're talking about is really fun. It's roots and rational exponents. And why these are fun is this. These are calculator problems. You can do them without a calculator, but you got a calculator. Everybody's going to do them on the calculator. Alright, so we know about square roots. We know this Arkham Asylum for the Criminally Insane from Batman. And how you do it is you do the factor tree. 2 times 8, 2 times 4, 2 times 2. And you're looking for twins. You could also do 16 equals 4 times 4. We'll do this one first. So if you have twins, since it's a square root, one twin gets out, he kills his other twin, he acts like he's in a body bag, and out he goes. So the square root of 16 basically is 4. We'll talk more about that. So with this one, that one gets out, this one goes away. That one gets out, this one goes away. So 2 got out and they get multiplied back together again. Okay? Square roots. That was your lightning fast review of square roots. Okay? And remember, we don't know, we didn't buy the Origin comic, so we don't know if it's a hero like Jim Gordon or if it's a villain like the Joker. And so we have to, so it's plus or minus. Because we don't know if this 16 came from positive 4 times positive 4 or if it came from negative 4 times negative 4. They both multiplied together equal 16, right? So you got to buy the Origin comic, right? Alright, I think the weird one is Joker, who he's got just all these different weird origin stories, but I digress. Okay. I really liked Joker, who was Jerome on Gotham, though. Alright, so these are calculator problems. So here I have my root sign, and you can take different roots besides square roots. You could have the third root, and you look for triplets. The fourth root, you look for quads. 1 gets out, 3 goes away, if it's 4. It could be the fifth root. 1 gets out, 4 goes away. So, on your calculator, where you find this symbol is the math button, which is ironic, because aren't they all math buttons? And then number 5, and it's got that. So, if you were putting it in, say you were putting in the third root of 125. On your calculator, you go ahead and put 3. Then you go math 5 and it gives you this symbol and it'll put the 3 there. And then you can do 125. Or you could just do math 5 and it's got 2 little blinky blank squares and you can put your 3 and 5 in there. So the bottom line is, you have got to practice with your calculator, or else you'll go, oh, there was somewhere I could do this on my calculator and I don't remember. And that'll be on the SAT and it'll be bad. So you've got to practice. You've got to learn your calculator. And I know some of your moms who are my age are like, the horror, they have to be able to do it without the calculator. Not anymore. Because they give the kids so many problems, they don't have time to do it 1987 style anymore. Got to go with the 2020s. Alright, so if n is odd, so if you're taking the third root, the fifth root, the seventh root, then you will get one answer. If it's even, 2, 4, 6, 8, who do we appreciate? Me. I was a cheerleader in college, believe it or not. Anyway, then you'll get 2 answers, because you don't know if you didn't buy the Origin book, and you don't know if the number came from a positive times a positive being positive, or a negative times a negative being positive. Because remember, 2 negatives make a positive, and that's why if it's an even root, it's plus or minus. Okay? And then if a is 0, if you take the square root of 0, it's always just one answer, it's 0. If a is negative, and n is even, then there's no real solutions. That's where your imaginary solutions came in. Remember we talked about that. What's the square root of -4? There's not one. Because the only way to get 4 is 2 and -2, and they are not the same. I'd much rather have $2 than owe you $2 any day of the week. Alright, but it's only if it's even. You can do odd, if n is odd, a can be negative. We have an example right there that we're going to do. Alright, and then this is the other big idea with this. This is a brand new Algebra 2 idea. Yay! This is fun. This is fancy math, and it's easy. There are two symbolism ways to write this. You can write it with the radical sign, or you can write it as a fraction. This means that. How I remember, so if you see a fractional exponent, it means that you're doing a root, okay? And the denominator of the fraction tells you what kind of root it is. So I imagine it's on a swing, and it swings around, and it says wee, and it goes to its place, telling which kind of root it is, and then the other one stays as the exponent. So that's how these are the same thing. Now, if it's negative, you got to shove the whole thing through the portal, because you got your portal gun, and then you can turn it into the radical. Even though technically you're not supposed to have radicals in the denominator, but the book doesn't even mention it here. And remember I told you in college they're not following that rule anymore. And a little bit in your book they're not following it either. It's the future. Okay. And of course whenever you have x in a denominator, it cannot be 0 because we cannot divide by 0. If you try it on your calculator, it will say error. Alright, so here's a problem. We're going to take the third root of -125. Now in reality, 125 is made out of 5 times 25, which is made out of 5 times 5, okay? And so 125 is made out of 3 5s. So there's 1 gets out and 2 goes away. And it's okay if it's negative, because they actually could all be negative. -5 times -5 is +25 times -5 is -125. So my triplets or -5s, okay? So the answer is, we're doing it 1987 right now, is -5. Now, I want you to do it on your calculator, okay? So there's 2 ways to do it on your calculator. I want you to know both. I want you to practice both. After every problem I show you, I want you to hit pause on this video, get out your calculator and practice it. Okay, so the first one is, on your calculator, you can do 3. Well, this one actually has like 4 ways to do it on your calculator. But anyway, put on your regular screen where you do the math, like where you would do 2 plus 2, put 3. Then hit the math button, the ironic one, that's right there, says math. Then go down to 5 or hit 5, and the symbol on your calculator, I think looks like that, or it might have boxes there. But this is the one where you can tell it different roots. And then you do -125, enter, and it should say -5. Now, cubed is special. Cubed is actually math number 4. And if you pick 4, it'll be cubed root. So do it that way too, and get -5. And then I want you to do it this way. Parentheses. Remember, if you have a negative number and you're taking it to an exponent, you have to use parentheses. So put beginning parentheses, -125 in parentheses, up arrow, 1 divided by 3, or you can use your alpha y equals and put the fraction in 1/3, enter, and get -5. So I want you to do this problem at least 3 ways on your calculator, okay? So just pause it, practice this one, come back, and we'll talk about this one. Okay, now you're back. So now we're going to do the 4th root of 16, and I wrote it way big. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yes, the 4th, you should write little right there, the 4th root of 16. So 16 is 2 times 8, 8 is 2 times 4, and 4 is 2 times 2. So 1 gets out and it kills all 3 of its quad siblings. And what gets out is plus or minus 2 because 4 is even. Now, if you do this on your calculator, which I want you to do, it will just say 2. It won't say plus or minus. So you got to remember the plus or minus yourself. If this is even, it can be plus or minus. Now, sometimes it can't. Sometimes you're doing a word problem and it's time or distance, things that cannot be negative. We do not have a time machine. We cannot go -2 seconds anywhere. So sometimes it will just be the positive one. All right, next one. So this is showing how it's the same thing as a fraction. So I want you to be able to turn a fraction into a radical and a radical into a fraction. And I want you to be able to do both on your calculator and get the answer. So after I do this one, I want you to pause it and do it both ways. But first, let me show you how to convert it. Remember, 2 is on a swing. It's going to swing and say what? Whee! Around it goes to the little slot. So it's the square root of 9 to the 3rd power. And it should be 27 according to the book. I just wrote it down. All right. And then I want you to do the square root of 9 to the 3rd power and see if you get 27. I want you to do it both ways. Okay, here's another one. -2/5 to the 32 power. You can first write it like this, 1/32 to the 2/5, because we are firing our portal gun. And it makes the little hole and it drops through the fraction bar, the only wall it has to shoot, and there it is. And then 5 is on the swing, it goes whee, lands right there. So 32 to the squared power is 1/4, and your calculator will give you 1/4 and not 0.25 if you put it in as a fraction using alpha y equals. You select number